Okay, Elizabeth. Burns, Anderson, fifth-generation banker, native Magnolia. Talk about growing up in the family bank.
Well, the family bank is 115 years old, and it was founded by both of my great-great-grandfathers. When I was young, my great-grandfather was president of the bank, and then my dad was CEO for 40-plus years, and he just retired. And my brother-in-law is now the CEO, who's married to my sister. And he does a fabulous job at taking on the family tradition. And, we're very proud of our bank, celebrating 115 years of service to the communities that we serve. We were founded to help the farmers in Columbia County and the entrepreneurs to start businesses. And we try to encompass that into our business today. We founded the Farmers Bank Foundation this past year on our 115th anniversary celebration. And the purpose of the Farmers Bank Foundation is to enrich the communities where we serve. We have branches as far north as Paris, Arkansas, and they go all the way to Prosper, Texas, which is north of Dallas. So we have a little over 30 branches. We are a $2.4 billion bank, so we're always in the top 6 to 7 banks in the state, Arkansas banks that are in the state. And we're very proud of that. And by creating a foundation, which I spearheaded, we are allowed to encompass our corporate giving and make a bigger impact in the communities we serve. Farmers Bank is based on community giving, and we like to support not only our customers, but our employees. Because when you have 115 years of service, successful service to your communities, you have to owe that to your employees. And so by enriching the communities, by offering support to nonprofits and support to education, healthcare workers and things like that within our communities, supporting the first responders, we are allowed to engage in those communities and create a legacy for our bank and enrich those communities where our customers and our employees live.
Banks are so important to a community.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the solution for underdeveloped and poverty neighborhoods? Because banks are also in the business of making money. I mean, like everybody is. They can't survive if they don't. So I learned in the last election, who's the mayor in New York City? Bloomberg, talking about how one of the reasons, one of the ways we could build up neighborhoods, poverty neighborhoods and underdeveloped neighborhoods is by putting a bank there. But no bank wants to go into a neighborhood that doesn't have any money or that has high crime. They don't want to put their employees at risk. I mean, how do you solve that? Do you talk about that at your bank?
We do. All banks are required to do what they call the Community Reinvestment Act, CRA lending or CRA giving back. And so we go into low poverty schools where they have free and reduced lunches and talk about opening the importance of having savings and the importance of how to manage your funds and things like that. So speaking to children at a young age and also just reaching out in those underdeveloped areas in each community by offering volunteer or teaching community classes on retirement or savings or things like that is a great way for us to get back to those areas.
But you don't get to know your bankers. I mean, one of the reasons I'm successful is I got to know my banker.
Right,
Kirk,
exactly.
I mean, I don't even know, Kirk Dixon, I still remember his name. He took a chance on me, gave me a signature loan back when you could get signature loans and, started me on my career path. I'm not sure that I, as a banker, would go to a community that's suffering and a girl came and said, I wanted to open a hair salon or a bakery. Will you give me $20,000 on a signature loan? I'm not sure that happens today or could even happen today or should. Really, I don't know how to change that.
Right. And it does happen. You just have to build those relationships and understand their planning and their giving. So, and we hope to build those relationships in all the communities that we serve.
Farmers Bank Foundation, I went to that website. Is it part of Farm Bureau Insurance?
No, it's not.
Why has it got that big logo, or did I go to the wrong website?
You went to the wrong website.
I wondered if I was at the wrong website. I did. That's typical of me, isn't
Yeah.
it?
They also have a foundation. Farm Bureau does.
Yeah.
But totally different thing.
Totally not related.
Yeah.
You know, Farmers Bank, it's been our name for 115 years, and it was founded because when my great-grandfathers got together, they wanted to help the farmers. And so in many meetings over the past 115 years, it's been discussed, should we change it? Should we make it more marketable? But you know what? No, because that's what we are. We were founded for farmers. We still support farmers today. And we also support the core of every community. And every community was initially founded by farmers. So it's important to maintain who you are and where you come from.
That's interesting. Every community was founded by farmers. That's really true, our history.
Absolutely.
Is that what the heart seems to be in all your advertising and in your logo? Is that what that means?
Yes. Our heart stands for, and you'll probably catch me because
What?
it is honor, excellence, adaptability, respect, and teamwork.
Oh, a lot of thought went into it.
Good job. Yeah.
Yeah,
I followed along.
Yeah. So it is. And we display that heart with just not only our customers, but our employees. We do a lot of team building. We do a lot of fun activities within our branches, competitive activities. You know, we had a Super Bowl Fun Friday a few weeks ago.
Are y'all betting?
No. It's not betting. But it's
We are at the Flag and Banner building.
right. It is. It's just more of a competitive way to have a good time, and then the branches compete and post it for all the other branches to see, and it's a fun place to work. I've worked at, like I said earlier, I worked at many other banks, and I always find my way back home because it is one of the best places to work. So,
But now, Jamie, you're in the hot seat. Let's talk about your family.
All righty.
How did your grandfather come to own the land near Lonoke, and how did he decide on fish bait as his product to farm?
Well, after he got out of the military, he was trained bomber pilots at the Blytheville Air Force Base during the war. And he and his brothers, they were in Yazoo City, Mississippi, and they were running bait routes with wild-caught bait, which was before we domestically raised bait. That's how it was all caught. So they were running routes all the way over to Lonoke, Arkansas.
In the airplane?
No. He got out of the Army, and he had trained the bomber pilots in the Army, gets out, and then they're...
Buys his own airplane.
No, they're not in the airplane. They're in trucks. They're in trucks.
Okay, forget it.
Yeah. So
Buys his truck.
they're hauling fish from Mississippi in trucks all the way as far as Lonoke, Arkansas. And so he got to know the gentleman that owned the property across the road from our current headquarters. Well, that gentleman was catching wild bait out of Biomeda, which is a drainage canal that goes through our property. And they were just really tough and hardy. And so my granddad didn't quite understand, what it was making these fish better than the ones he was bringing from Mississippi. So he didn't know if his soil, water, really what it was. But anyway, he went across the road, and there was an 80-acre rice farm there, and a lady and a gentleman that owned it, and 800 acres behind it that was all timber. And he just offered him money and bought it. So he started building fish ponds,
So
immediately.
he doesn't have the meadow is not in his property, on his property?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is currently.
It wasn't at the time.
At the time, it was on one of the borders. So he just bought the farm there close to that location, knowing he could catch them out of Biomeda if he needed to. But he started building ponds on that 800 acres and catching fish wild and stocking those in those ponds and then breeding those, and so on down the line. And then just it kind of took off, and as it grew and grew, he bought more land, built more ponds, set up distributions, all over the country. And at that time and even now, you still kind of have to invent the equipment you use. And the aquaculture industry across the country it's very diverse. We're talking everything from salmon and trout and lobster all the way to oysters and minnows and goldfish. And so the equipment you use, you have to physically build it. So back in the late 40s, early 50s, he's designing trucks and boxes and air systems and containment systems for sheds, how to deliver oxygen to fish in sheds. So there's a whole lot more to it than just putting fish in a pond or putting fish in a truck and going to sell them. But he kind of helped neighbors get in the business, because if they had land, he would build ponds on their land, stock it with fish, and buy them back. So that's kind of how Lonoke County became the freshwater finfish capital of the nation. Lonoke County is number one in bait fish. number one in goldfish. We're number one in largemouth bass production, hybrid striped bass production. So it's, that's kind of how it all started. And we had Joe Hogan State Fish Hatchery was right there in Lonoke, and it was built in the 40s also. So it just kind of became the center for freshwater aquaculture there.
So how many businesses are down there in Lonoke that are in aquaculture?
Currently, I'm going to say Lonoke County probably has a dozen.
Really?
That range anywhere from bait fish to goldfish to game fish. And then
Tilapia, is it raised there?
No, we don't raise any tilapia in Arkansas. It's temperature-wise, tilapia don't do real well in Arkansas. Our winters are too cold.
Do you eat tilapia?
I have. It's
What's
not
your
one of
favorite fish to eat?
Oh, gosh, certainly crappie. Catfish is a close second. But then I have to
Eating
differentiate.
crappie? What?
I differentiate between freshwater and saltwater. I love saltwater fish also. But
Your family was named Farm Family of the Year in 2019. How did that come about, and what did it mean to your family, your employees, your peers? Talk about that experience.
it's great to be recognized, no doubt. But my line that I've said over and over is, when you try to stay humble and you don't do it to be recognized. We do what we do because we love it, especially farming. It's not easy. Everybody knows that. We don't wake up every day hoping somebody recognizes our efforts. So it's nice to be recognized. It really is. But there's 1,000 farms out there that deserve the exact same recognition. We're no different. But Elizabeth and I, we just do our best. We come from amazing families. We were certainly given an advantage, so we don't want to take that for granted. We want to stay humble. We want to not only give back ourselves in the same capacity, if not hopefully more than the generations before us, but also teach our children why we do what we do. They often question, why are we going to a meeting at night, or why are we doing this or that? And it's the same answer. We've got to give back. We were given this fortune, or good fortune, so we've got to give back to the community, and hopefully they will do the same. I feel like everybody's given a unique set of skills or something they can do, and any of that can be used in one capacity or another to give back, whether it be large or small, doesn't matter the scale. Mm-hmm. So I feel like Elizabeth is amazing. She works as hard or harder than I do at it, but to see her do the same things that I was taught, it shows a lot about her family. She comes from an amazing family too, and so I think it works well. I know it takes time away from our kids sometimes to do it, but at the same time, we're helping not only our communities and hopefully the state even, or our businesses, but hopefully the kids see it, and hopefully one day they'll do the same.
You're setting examples.
Yes.
Lonoke Agricultural Business Academy. Elizabeth, why was that important for you?
Well, Jamie and I chaired a millage campaign right before COVID hit, and passed a millage tax to raise $12 million to build a facility, which is a partnership with ASUBB and Baptist Health. And it was important to do it because I sit on the school board in Lonoke, and my main purpose in being part of the school board is because I think public education can be so much better. And Lonoke has a fantastic public school, and it's important to me to see it succeed. And by providing opportunities for our students that they wouldn't necessarily have in other school districts, it gives Lonoke schools a heads up. So by developing this agricultural-based academy, which teaches diesel mechanics, agricultural classes, aquacultural classes, industrial technology, those type classes where these kids can get their hands on and learn about agriculture before they actually enter the workforce. We also are teaching about rural health care, which is so important for Arkansas. There's so many communities around Arkansas that are losing their healthcare workers, are losing doctors, and that's how they sustain their communities. If you don't have a doctor or even a nurse practitioner to see within your community, then you can't live there.
Why are they losing them?
Just the draw to live in those types of communities. And, a doctor who seeks patients in rural Arkansas does everything. They do everything because there are no local hospitals. They become, the urgent care in that community. And so, and a lot of these nurses are going to where the money is. And
that really bothers me, that doctoring is so much about the money, and it's so much about specializing and the money and burning and churning through as many people as you can. I mean, what did happen to the family practitioner?
I'm not really sure if it just became overwhelming or Jamie's uncle, Dr. Les Anderson, is our doctor in Lonoke, and he's been there for over 50 years.
He's in his late 70s, and he could retire if he wanted to, but it's in his heart that he wants to keep going and not only still treating people, but he's volunteering to work at our health facility there at the academy and training the next generation of doctors and nurses.
Teachers and nurses are angels to me.
They are.
Yeah.
So why is farming important? And why is teaching this trade school important?
Well, it's important because agriculture is what sustains Lonoke. It is the economy of Lonoke. And so the only way to sustain our education program is to teach these kids that college is not necessarily the path for everyone. In Lonoke, only about 30% of their kids attend college, and out of that 30%, only half of them actually complete it. So why not gear these kids a direction in the beginning, in the 9th and 10th grade, on, hey, there's opportunities out there. You can go and learn about aquaculture and go work on the farm and make a great living without coming out of college with all this debt and no degree. And so,
boy, you're preaching to the choir.
I know.
Amen.
There are so many kids out there that are.
Are you still paying on your? Are you still paying on your?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. See,
But there's so
I'm
many.
34, of course I am.
There's so many kids out there that are told college, and you've got to get there, and that's the way to be successful. But there are so many career paths that you can be successful without a college degree, if that's from plumbing to farming to diesel mechanic. I mean, a diesel mechanic can make six figures.
Those guys have got to learn computers to be a diesel. I mean, to be a mechanic today, you need to have almost an IT degree that you can get at a Votech school.
Absolutely.
And I went to a Votech school, and it was priceless for me.
Governor Hutchinson was touring our academy when we opened the doors, and he made the comment. We showed him the nursing and healthcare. We showed him the welding. We showed him the office management, the diesel mechanics. He said, I thought this was ag based. I said, well, my company can't get by without any of this. I've got welders. I've got mechanics. I've got office staff. We obviously all have to go to the doctor. I said, so this is a part of agriculture. The trucks and tractors get it out of the field into the granary. So ag business needs all of that. It's not just about putting the seed in the ground or the fish in the pond. It's got to have the whole support system.
Never thought about that.
And that's part of why this academy is what it is. We rural towns, we lose our workforce almost immediately. And in the ones that do stay, half of them live on government assistance the rest of their life.
I know.
And, like yesterday, we had a job for them at our high school. I'm the chairman of our business education cooperative. And so we arranged a job for them. So we had everybody from Caterpillar to Benny, Keith, to My Farm, to City Public Works, had everybody there to show these kids, hey, these are well-paying jobs right down the street. If you're not going to college, don't worry about it. Come straight to us. And for the 9th and 10th graders, go to that business academy and learn some of these trades that I need along with everybody else in town, and go make, very, very good money right at 18. Don't wait till you're 21 or 22 with college debt and a degree that nobody cares about.
And because we care about, as you and I, as small business owners, we care about experience.
Yes. I'll teach you everything you need to know.
That's what we are.
And those kids that do leave don't come back generally. They're not going to come back to Lonoke once they've attended ASU or UCA or Fayetteville or Monticello. Generally, they're going to stay in those areas because those businesses are wanting them also. So this business academy it's the future. I grew up right at the end of trade learning in school. I mean, it's kind of a joke when I graduate high school. But we've got to get back to that because 3/4 of our workforce is working in a trade that can be taught before they even graduate high school.
And once you get a taste of money at 18, you're addicted to it after that. Or not, I mean, you're empowered. I don't want to say addicted,
Yes.
but you feel
It's
empowered.
hard to go back.
Yes. Once you start to find out that you can make money and that you have value and you begin to try different experiences and learn what you're good at, it's empowering.
And kids are different now. They do everything online. They don't know how to walk into a business and face either the owner or the manager of a branch or something and introduce themselves and say, hey, I want to apply for a job. So just this job for them yesterday, I told some of the attendees, look, these kids might just be in 11th grade and you can't hire them until they're 18, but they're going to know your face. They're going to know your business. And you're going to be approachable. I'm approached by kids I've met at these job forums over the past 3 years that would have never approached me if they hadn't have met me and at least said hi or do something. So that makes a difference with these kids.
If you liked this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the picture of Kerry's face in the center of the screen. For more of Kerry's interviews, click either video on the right of the screen. And as always, thank you for watching.